Welcome. Namaste, everybody. I know my YouTube's going to go noisy in 1 second, but I'll turn that off. So welcome. I'm here today to do live readings, and I am so excited to have Orsi here on my channel with me. We were yesterday, was it yesterday, Orsi, on Gerald's channel? 2 days ago?
Day before yesterday, yes.
Yeah. So Gerald Tarot Stash was doing a conversation with Ben and Zane about the.
Oh, I forgot.
I have it right here. I had it right here. Where'd it go? Which deck?
It was in the way home. Yes.
So we were doing a little conversation about the Way Home Tarot, and they were showing cards, and Orsi and I were in the chat. And I mentioned that I was doing live readings today with the Hush Tarot. So those of you that have been following my channel know that I've done about 11 weeks of conversations with the Hush Tarot. It's not a deck that I find easy to work with. I have been doing my best to find a connection with it, doing lots of research, stalking Jeremy's Instagram page and sharing lots of his art. And last week we looked at 21 slides or so of art that was not included in the deck. And I was looking at some of the art that I think would have made, I can show you some of them. I still have them here.
Oh, cool.
That would have made amazing cards. And this is going to block out Orsi and me to some degree. This is one that I find absolutely haunting. I love the ship on the head.
Yeah.
The light, I thought this would be an amazing 7 of Cups card. That was one that I found super okay, and I want to go down to, sorry, Orsi, you're blocked out here.
I don't mind. I love this image.
In a second. Is this the one? Yes, look at this one. This is one of his older pieces, and the way that he draws horses
is
incredible. And I don't know what I feel in this card. It's very emotional. It's very watery.
Yeah, it's a powerful one, but yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm getting either.
And then we looked at some of the details of some of the cards. Like this is the King of Pentacles. And in the artwork was called Angry Horned Owl. And for those of you that don't know this deck, most of the artwork was created long before he had the contract with US Games. And I want to say about 20% of the deck was created for the deck. So it definitely is. It definitely is what do you call it? A curated deck.
Yeah, because there was some disconnect with some of the images.
Yeah. So to me, to see this close up in the King of Pentacles, it just gives me so much more to talk about. Anyway, we had fun looking at lots of his artwork on Instagram last week, and it's been quite a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, when I did my initial first impressions, I did it in I redone the whole thing lately, so I'm doing it a different way now, but I did it back then in a way where I just pulled out the cards. I didn't read the guidebook, so I was under the impression when I first started with the deck that this was an artist who lived in the 19th century or something. So I had no idea that he was still living, breathing, and creating and everything. So it was just an interesting kind of discovery when I was going through the cards, and I was like, this is too modern, because there's bondage in one of the cards. And I was like, there's no way that in the 19th centuries someone would have painted, even though that might be a false assumption. But yeah, it was quite an interesting discovery. But yeah, for some of the cards, I don't know, if I can, just talk about it, but I can't remember which one.
I would love to talk about the whole bondage thing. Is it called shibori? There's a name for that practice, the sexual practice of bondage.
Oh, I thought that the official was
there's this other name where you can actually people take care to learn how to tie the knots and to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just causing pain. It's absolutely not about that. But Yeah, but there's the one of the pages and the queen. Can't remember which one. Obviously, it was in my hand before, but now I can't find it. Is that I always feel like it should be reversed, though I haven't really looked into the art, so maybe I was just thinking that I'm gonna ask you about it. So maybe there's some discovery you made. If I can find it,
Yeah,
it's gonna be the last one.
there's a lot, and I also did a video where. So, do you know Mixtress Ray?
I know the name because Candy from Candy and Soul. I don't know her channel name. She does a lot of VR, so yeah, I know her name.
So Mixtress Ray did and there was also another person on Instagram. So they actually changed all of the, oh my God, they changed all of the titles and they repurposed the deck. And so I haven't drawn on mine, but I did a video where I went through and reassigned all the cards.
Oh, you reconstructed the whole thing as well.
But I didn't. I mean, I did it as an exercise.
I mean, in your hand, but
I didn't
yeah.
draw on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, only these two are the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. These are the ones that I feel like this is such a bridal image.
Yes.
That it gives that innocence and starting point, which should be a page, not a queen. And this one with the masks, it's much more powerful. It could be a page if this wasn't, the queen. So for me, that's the only two cards that I would actually change. But I don't know, how can I mean, I'm not sure if I can fix the title in a way that it's not going to be too distracting. So
you'd have to do the whole deck.
No, I don't think it's just I don't have this
we're
power.
gonna draw on the cards.
No, I was just thinking about changing the title.
Oh, okay.
That's but I'm I can't do it in a way that it would look like the other ones, and it might be bothering.
I see her as a Queen of Swords.
Oh.
And part of the reason of that has to do with this gesture.
With the hand, yeah.
And or Queen of Cups. The intuition, the connection with telepathy, something other. And also the way the horns on the goats are is really interesting. It's almost as if the goats are connecting through their third eyes as well too. The way they're touching. That gesture of connecting forehead to forehead has a lot of power and a lot of emotion to it. And I find this odd as the Queen of Pentacles. I understand Capricorn, goats, Earth. I get that.
Yeah. I mean, I was just looking at the Queen of Cups, and I like this because of the blue, which is like such a simple, reason. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, this deck differs from the traditional meanings or imagery so much that I can be on board with pretty much anything, because I accepted it. That I think I got this deck because I was trying to deal with that and be immortal, because this deck is heavily leans into that space between life and death.
Mm-hmm. So you want to hear my story?
Yes, of course. Yes.
I'm going to tell you a story. All right. So you know how this deck has lots and lots of seemingly dead people?
Seemingly, yes.
Right. So we have a lot of skulls. We have, there's a lot of harpies in the deck. There's elemental energy. And in the guidebook, so for example, in the Emperor card, which was called the Falling Tower, I believe, this one.
Mm-hmm.
The proportion of everything, it looks as if the parade that's happening underneath the hands is fate. But in the guidebook, he describes it as people. And this also has a historical association, a historical connotation. And one of the masks is representative of a dog that did a lot of rescue and worked as an active sergeant in World War I.
Oh.
And he talked about this on his Instagram page, I think, not in the guidebook.
I have to stalk his Instagram page. I can see that.
So what am I saying here? What am I saying? Okay, so there's a real mix of human, masks, death. Is this a mask? Is this a human? So I know Jeremy is in New York City. So I have this, and I want to show you also another picture that I think is really important for me to connecting with this deck, and that is the Temperance card. And hopefully I can find it. This one. So in the painting of the Temperance card, we see the Temperance card, we see the woman on the right. And what we
Yes.
don't see is this fallen statuary on the left. To me, this looks like an enormous structure, a statue perhaps that has fallen. Okay, so here's my theory. New York City, the Met Theater, 200, 300 years in the future has crumbled. And a lot of the props and sets from the theater we find in the ruins of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And what survives is all the plants, the birds, the animals, the fae. And so when I look at this deck, what I'm starting to see is something in the future.
Mm-hmm. So as in a post-apocalyptic,
yeah,
we fucked up everything kind of future.
Yeah. And that's how I am able to bring in some of the stuff that's here. Yeah. So the bondage.
Yeah. I mean, now looking at the card, the Temperance was the one where I was like, this has to be something new because of her hair. It wasn't even the bondage, but she has a red and black hair, and that's when I realized that okay, this has to be a new deck. But I didn't know that there were bigger version of the pictures that were used. So I'm definitely gonna look up things, because I don't know why I didn't do that. I still think, and I think this is just such a weird thing, but I don't think about people and artists being on Instagram, and being part of the community like that, because it kind of feels like that they must live somewhere in a farm or, in a townhouse and just create, and the big publishers are the ones doing the promotion and not them being on social media and talking about the decks. And I don't know why I think like that, but I think it just shows my age, because 20 years ago writers or authors were never to be found so easily than these days. So I just don't think about finding them.
Yeah. It's really something. And also I want to comment on US Games and the relationship between the creator and US Games, and where I feel that US Games did some disservice to his artwork. So I imagine, and I don't know, I've tried to have a conversation with Jeremy, and Jeremy, if you ever watch this, I would love to interview you. And I've asked to interview him I've messaged him through Instagram a couple of times. He's liked some of my comments, but never replied to them.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. Okay, so I imagine he submitted more than 78 paintings to US Games. And then US Games went through and reassigned some of them. So when an artist submits work to US Games, you can't, especially when it's a curated deck. And obviously the moon and the sun and a few other cards were designed for this deck, but a lot of it wasn't. And if you go back, some of this art goes back to 2012. 2012, 2013, 2014, a lot of it is from then. So it obviously wasn't part of the US Games contract. So yeah, it feels like if you're going to do that as an artist, you need to have some kind of sense of your vision for the deck and you need to fight for pictures, or maybe even fight for a couple of horizontal cards. Like, I think there could
Oh
have been
no,
amazing.
that's a big no for me. So I'm glad that wasn't because I tried that with the Muse and I couldn't read with it because it just throws me off. And I'm like, I need to have everything in the same. I mean, within the same deck. I love creating big spreads with like 6 or 7 decks, and they can be all different sizes and orientation. But within one deck, I need that. But I was just thinking that in the at the beginning of the guidebook, he talks about finding tarot. So I think he maybe, obviously, I don't think the guidebook mentions who curated the deck, because I was looking for that when I was doing the walkthrough and I couldn't find that. So maybe just like you said, there was some conversation and maybe maybe it was okay for him, everything. But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to him as well, because it's such an interesting concept for a deck that it would be cool for us readers to know why it really happened, because the introduction is very interesting, but it's like just 2 short paragraphs or something like that. So obviously there wasn't a lot of space.
Yes. And I know that's an issue for a lot of people. Anyway, I want to pause, Orsi. I want to say hi. We haven't said hi to everybody.
Yes,
who's here.
obviously.
So I'm going to go back up to the top of the chat. Tammy Ann was here first. So hi, Tammy Ann. Thank you. Jamie. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Irene, welcome to you. Evangelina, hello. And who else we have here? Leafy. Leafy, do I know your name? Do you know Leafy's name? I don't know Leafy's name.
I think so. But maybe it's just,
You can let us know,
familiar.
Leafy, if you want us to know your name. Dee is here. Hello, Dee. Welcome. And Hannah. Hello,
Hi.
Hannah. Joan. Uh-oh, where'd Joan go? There's Joan.
Yeah, hi, Joan.
And Patrice.
Yay.
Welcome. Hi, Patrice. Donna is here. Welcome, Donna. And yes, we are going to do readings with the deck. So you can hold on there. What is Joan's comment here? I never wanted this deck until I saw it being used for readings, and now I'm considering it. Well, maybe after today, after we do a few readings, you can decide. And we haven't decided how we're going to do that, a couple of cards each, or what we're going to do. Lydianne is here. Welcome. So,
and I was absolutely the same. So when I saw it being used, I wanted so.
Okay, so Jamie has typed the name of that's the term for bondage. Yeah. Pallavi is here. Welcome, Pallavi. And Evangeline has a question. I would like to know what oracles you all use for pairing with the Hush Tarot. I used them with Wisdom of Shadows. I don't have. The Awakened Soul. I don't have. I had it with something really good the other day. What was it?
Can I be shameless about my own deck?
Of course, please.
Because
sure.
I have 2 decks, and I think both of them works well. But like I said, I'm kind of shameless. One of them is the Zombie Oracle. I this is not available. I just made it, but because of the similar, I don't know, kind of scenes or just the colors. I don't know if you can see it. So something like this, it works well visually.
Orsi, are you selling this deck?
Yes, it's on Make Playing Cards. I have 2 decks out. I'm working on the 3rd one. So yeah, everybody can find walkthroughs, flip throughs, everything on my channel. And the other one is the one I made for relationship readings. And it's a much simpler one with buildings. It's called Building Relationships. And it also has a similar tone. That's why I love using both. But I don't know if you have the botanical inspirations.
Yes.
That's also it's, even though it's, I mean, it's a flowery deck, but I think that's the one that.
This one?
No. It's this one.
Oh yes, that one. Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna show a couple of cards so people.
What about Roots and Wings?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yes.
So
What
everything
tarot?
that has a vintage style, I think,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
goes well.
Yeah. That tea stained kind of background. Yeah.
So I think these three are at the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, I had something on the table the other day, and I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was. And I don't think it was Roots and Wings, it was something else. So, like I said, this is a deck that I have. Well, I've said this before, I resisted working with this just for a few different reasons. Let's just catch up with the chat, and then maybe we can start some reading.
Thank you, Jamie.
If you do have questions, you can go ahead and start putting them into the chat. And or she'll make sure I put your playing card,
Jamie posted the links. Thanks.
Oh, great, thank you. Okay. I see the page as a Queen of Swords as well too.
And now I do too. So
okay, that was the black card that we were looking at.
The Queen of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I found with this deck that it's easy to find a card because you can recognize it by the background.
Yeah.
Like there's certain cards that are pink or black or blue.
I love the colors of this deck. It's so beautiful.
Okay. So it's very, very soft, very soft. How do you pronounce this name correctly? It's Gaelic, right?
Ooh, then I'm not even gonna attempt.
Is it Etha? Is it Etha? Can you please type your name phonetically in the chat just so I can say it correctly? I see Pallavi has a question. Nina, hello to you. And Grun is here. Welcome. I once a day ago reassigned the Marielle. Sometimes the subjective of art opens the path to intuitive angles. That's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah. And Andrew, welcome, Andrew. Andrew asks if I'm going to continue reading with this deck after today. I'm not going to sell it or give it away. It's going to be lurking in the background, Andrew. It's going to be lurking in the background, and I will pull it out when I feel an urge to use it. So yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's really good to have to throw these ideas off one another. You know, it's good to have these conversations. You know, like this card, for example, I see very much a 5 of Wands kind of energy. There's so much motion and action, and this is the 3 of Wands.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about not touching the system because the selection, because I feel like if I do that, I just push the art back into the usual box.
Yes.
Which I don't want to.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. So Darcy's here and Aisha's here. Aisha, you changed your channel name back again. You had it one name and then you changed it back. And Orsi, did you have a different channel name the other day?
No, it should be the same.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't add in the description because that's my usual.
Okay. Okay. Andy, hello to you. Audrey's here. And did I miss anybody? Hello, hello, hello. I'm scrolling down and not reading everything. Patrice is commenting on your zombie oracle. Natural pairing with this deck. It was my first thought when Sadhana mentioned the post-apocalyptic theme of Hush. That makes sense, right? That definitely makes sense. Okay. Aisha says, I found the Hush spread very insightful and it works well with the Hush Tarot. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way down through the comments because I know there's questions way back up. Donna, and I don't know if you're up for, It's Etha. Yeah, Gallic. Yes. Okay, thank you, Etha.
Such a pretty name.
And Tammy Ann suggests the Supra Oracle. Okay.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay, so Leafy is first. So what do you want to do? 2 cards each, 3 cards each, 1 card each?
However you want to do it. I mean, when I was in other channels, we all pulled 1 card and put together, but we can pull more. I don't know how you like to do readings.
Okay. Let's kind of just play off each other. We'll start with 1 card, and if we need another card,
Okay.
we'll do that. Okay, so let's hold some space for Leafy. And Leafy, I don't know if you posted your name, but I didn't get it if you did.
Okay.
Okay. I actually do have Supra. I haven't cracked it out of the box, so it's a deck that I would.
Oh, Orsi. Okay. Someone just said that it's a deck from Orsi. I think that's how you said the name.
Yeah, Orsi. Yeah. Okay. All right. What is the next phase for Jay and me? Jay is a he. My gratitude. Okay. So Jay, Leafy, I don't know if you're a she or a he. I'm not sure what your pronoun is, so maybe you can let us know that as well too. Ooh, Gruen has a really good comment. We'll deal with that after Leafy's reading. Okay. And it's interesting. I looked at Gruen's comment and then I pulled this particular card, and the word that really spoke to me in his is, I'm sorry, I don't know your pronoun either. Is Gruen masculine or feminine? Do you know?
It's green, so I don't know. It's a color.
Empowerment. But you know what yeah.
It's interesting because what I pulled the page of, what is it, Wands? And that was my first thing too, that you have to pay attention not to lead the other person by force. Not to try to transform him into the image of something you want, but to respect who this individual is, because that's how you can create an equal relationship. Because if you look at this, the little girl is created something, and even though it's a positive thing in this card, because she was creating something that she can bring along for the journey. And that's definitely an element you need to keep in mind when you're in a relationship. You have to create things together. But my first thought was, be mindful not to try to transform the other person into something that they are not.
And I'm wondering also about yourself, Leafy, if there's an aspect of yourself that are you allowing yourself to shine through completely? In both of these cards, there's a sense of like I feel like you've put a lot of effort into the relationship.
Yes.
Are you trying too hard? Like, are you trying too hard? Maybe this is more about just letting the relationship be and grow. Allow the relationship to grow organically.
Yes.
Because a relationship doesn't need to be so much work. I mean, there's fun. Your card is fun, Orsi.
Yeah. It's a beginning, and it's optimistic and open, but it's very much about boundaries and respecting the other person's boundaries.
What if you look at these 2 cards? So what if I switch and I put you here, and we look at these cards as progressive?
Mm-hmm.
If one is, because they're the same angle, they're going in the same direction. And what if this is the older version of the young page?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, some food for thought, Leafy. Thank you. Okay, let's.
But it's definitely a positive sign. I mean, I didn't read it as it's just a reminder. It's a gentle reminder.
I'm so excited to see you in action with this challenging tarot. Yes, we're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun. Okay, so who is next? Tammy Ann is next. Okay. All right, I will find Tammy Ann. I see Pallavi is there.
Yeah, and I'm looking over because I had to turn on my phone to see the comments. So that's why, because for some reason on my iPad I can see them.
Okay. So I have been intentionally working with Tower Kali energy. Can I get some guidance as I move through this period of deconstruction? Okay, so remember when you're working with Kali, this really is also kind of a Ten of Swords energy. This is a destruction of the ego. It's like really paring down all that you any superficiality, right? So when we stand with Kali, when we work with Kali, we have to not only be fearless, but we have to be willing to let go of things. And it can be exhausting, right, when we're working with this. So there's a sense of endurance and wellness that's really important as well too. Okay, so let's see. Did you pull a card, Ishi?
Yeah, I mean, two fell out, so I have mine. I have the High Priestess, which is not surprising because at a time like that, working with those energies is very, very, very important to, listen to your inner guidance, because you will know how much you can take on. I kind of get the feeling, that you shouldn't do too much at once. You should pace yourself when working with these energies because they can be very heavy. So you don't want to you don't want to dig too deep, because maybe if you do that, you're not going to be able to actually deal with what you learn, because you're going to be engulfed with emotions and getting overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you face yourself and you're like, okay, I'm going to stop because I did this and this work, you're going to actually slowly but more surely move forward. And High Priestess is my card and my connection to the tarot, so I'm always like when she comes out. And it's just, yeah, it's a reminder that we all have that inner guidance that we need to listen more. And I also have the Knight of Swords, which I think fits very well with this theme, because the Knight of Swords moves ahead when the correct thoughts come. Even though sometimes you move too quickly. So that's why I was getting that you need to face yourself or pace yourself.
Mm-hmm. That fits perfectly. Fits perfectly with where I am going to go. I was just looking for the High Priestess. Okay, so those of you that have this deck, these words on the wrist here,
oh yeah,
are a quote from Empress Josephine.
Think so?
Yep, I think I looked that up. And so there's a real sense of owning that internal feminine power and strength. And you're going to laugh. I got this card again.
Ha!
And when I look at these two cards side by side, there's a couple of things that I feel here. One is that you are in this for the long haul.
Yes.
And know that this experience, this journey is I want to encourage you to commit to it, because the transformation is so worth it. And when you feel a little worn out, when you feel tired, when you need to rest, when you need the self-care and all of that, take the time for that, but then get back on the horse, because this it's very brave of you to take this on, right? Not everybody's going to start working with Kali energy,
Yes.
right?
And that's what I also wanted to say, that there are ends in this card, and I was like, that the word escaped my mind. Diligent work, like slowly but surely working, being a hard worker in a sense, but not in a I'm using up all my energy at once, because ants are very good at carrying themselves for a long way or a long time. So yeah, that was definitely there as well.
And Pallavi commented, where was it? She is nurturing at the same time she is fierce. It's such a powerful feminine energy, and that it's also going to give you strength. It's going to give you the power to know endurance, like going forward through the rest of your life as well too. So good on you. Keep on going. Keep on going. Pallavi saw her in her dreams some days back and was astonished and happy. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. Joan comment, she never looked up. Yeah, and I have been doing this more and more because I've been doing deep dives. And when you do a deep dive, and especially when you're leading a group, you're kind of responsible for doing the research. So
yeah,
it's been fun. It's been fun. Okay, where are we at? Scrolling on down. Darcy Rosner is next.
Oh, and I just want to say before I forget, because I saw Patrice asking about the next deck, I post on my Instagram about, so if anybody is interested in decks from me, and check my Instagram, it's Dragorsy, like DRAGORSY, everywhere.
It's in the
description. Okay, I can't see that in here because
I edited it.
Oh, thank you.
And there's the playing card link that Jamie posted.
Yeah.
Okay. Darcy, I want to know how to heal things with my daughter. I'm devastated by this sudden estrangement. Oh, that's so sad. You have children, Orsi?
No, I have a nephew, but I have a big family, so I can understand how devastating that can be. I mean, I don't even want to think about that, because we fight, we do those things, but oh, interesting.
Go ahead.
In Judgment, and it's falling out of my hand. And Judgment is not about you being judged and others telling you that you are not doing your best. It's usually about you're not forgiving yourself for something. And when I pull the Judgment card, is also always a reminder that we're here, or we're at a stage of our lives because of everything that happened before. So I think what I'm getting from this card is you can move forward if you accept what happened in the past. You have to accept why things happened, even if you don't know the reason. You have to accept that they did. And once you work through that emotion and accept that this is the reality currently, then you can start thinking about how to fix things. But until you're too emotional about it, which is completely understandable, I'm not saying you shouldn't. You have to give yourself time to accept these feelings, and then you can move forward.
So this card, I'm losing my voice. This card is definitely part of a series. And in the Judgment card, this card was called Decay. And what we see is the natural cycles of things falling apart. The natural, like in the Hindu pantheon, in the yogic studies, we have the Trimurti of Brahma, and Vishnu is the sustainer, and Shiva is the destroyer.
Yeah.
And so in the natural course of life, we go through cycles of rebirth and death. And this painting he called decay. And so
Makes sense.
instead of looking at the relationship as falling apart, how about looking at it as it's ready to transform? There's something about the relationship that fundamentally, karmically, however you want to look at it, wasn't working. You know, there's something about both of you, the way that your two souls are connecting that needs to be deconstructed. And maybe you're both ready for that deconstruction so you can experience that transformation of the Judgment card, right? And then in the World card, we see the growth. And without the destruction, we cannot see the growth. And the card that I pulled for you is the Ace of Cups, which, you know, is very much a card of, well, there's so many things I feel, but it just goes perfectly with the Judgment card, right? It's an opportunity for you to see the relationship in a new way. And so this period of pain that you are experiencing is completely necessary. And just be with it and know that it too shall pass. But yeah, it's just so beautiful that Judgment is followed by the Ace of Cups.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
you can see that the skull as the past that has been, and but there's a bird that is coming out of it. You know, there's a new opportunity. And you know, Judgment is always a leveling up card, how I read it or say it, because I play too many, you know, video games. It's, you know, integrating all the lessons and starting things from a higher level.
so know that, Darcy, that she is going through something herself. And she may very well be going through something that is mirrored with something in your past as well too. And one of the reasons it's so painful is because you connect with it. And so one of the ways that you might be able to work with it, so later on, right, Darcy commented, she really blindsided me, brutal. She just had a baby and told me I would never meet her. So when I see that kind of comment, I want to ask you, was there a time in your life where you cut somebody off, where you created a sense of protection for yourself? You know, when I see this kind of comment, there's a reason she's showing this energy to you. And I know that this is not really the forum for this, but that might help in some way. So we send you love and light and know that this is a very necessary part of the journey. But I think that this message of that we received with these two cards should give you hope, right?
Yes, the aces are new beginnings, you know, new opportunities. So
Yeah. So never is a long time.
yeah.
Never is a long time. You're welcome, Darcy. All right, so let's stroll on down. And I'm just going to say this again. Etha. I knew one of my children had a peer at school with this name, and I forgot.
Oh,
Okay, so Etha is next. Let's find her question. This was the comment I was talking about. So
yeah.
a good read for empowerment and patience.
It was a very well fitting and well timed comment because we both pulled cards about that. So I love that.
I'm just looking for the comment.
Yeah, sure.
It must be just after that. Thank you all for your patience. Sometimes it's hard to navigate the chat on StreamYard. So Etha has been called to make a drastic change in her life and was looking for some guidance before she plunges into that move. Okay.
Also, just a side note, I love the cardstock of this deck.
I hate it.
It really? It's one of my all-time favorites.
Isn't it great? It's great that if we all like the same thing, it would be boring.
Yeah, I mean, I love this deck. So you're like, yeah, I always love that. When I complained about Llewellyn's cardstock in somewhere in one of my live streams, and someone was like, but that's my favorite. And I was like, okay, that's you.
Yeah.
But that's why the tarot community is so colorful, because we love different things.
It makes me really sad when I see videos of people, they just got a deck yesterday and they're selling it because they can't stand it.
Yeah.
I mean, our gut reactions are important, but I think there's a lot when we have a strong reaction to a deck, like I had.
Could be a reason.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was like Mariel, and now I have it, and I'm doing the study with Chris, and I might not keep it after a while, but I know that I have to work with it. It came into my life for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have Baba Studios or Orsi, so I don't know. Just Darcy commented. Okay, so what was the question?
So Etha was feeling called to make a drastic change in her life and was looking for some guidance before she plunges into this. Okay, so let's hold space for Etha. Oh, I absolutely love this card. I think this is my favorite card in the whole deck.
Oh, which one? Queen of.
This painting is called Between the Sun and the Moon.
I would never guess that.
Between the Sun and the Moon. And this is such a gorgeous high priestessy, magical, connected to the environment. Queen of Cups. So really embracing your intuitiveness, your witchiness, your connection to people in general. And if you also, the thing that I love about this card is the balance of the sun and the moon as well too. She's not necessarily leaning to one side or the other, even though this is the Queen of Cups, that sun is there. And it's such a powerful card. So I feel like maybe that's a great theme that's coming through today, as one of empowerment. And that has spoken through in several of the readings. So as you step forward in this drastic change, I want to say to trust your intuition, to trust your feelings. And I don't know, there's something about the incredible connection with it. Did you notice in this deck, there's a lot of birds that are communicating with humans?
Yeah. I mean, he talked about it in the foreword for the deck, that the connection between animals and humans was always very important for him. So that's a heavy theme throughout the deck. And I got temperance. So, the between two things, the balancing things, the being a bit patient with things is definitely there. How I learned and how I like to read temperance is like a river changing its bed. It's a very slow and a positive change, but it takes time to to happen. So I know that you specifically said drastic change. So what I'm getting with temperance is maybe not changing that quickly, that drastically, that the change need to happen maybe more slowly and surely, and finding balance between the old and the new. The key word for me with temperance is patience, which I absolutely hate. I'm not a patient person. So, but it's key. Patience is key.
The natural, what do I want to
Flow.
say? Go with the natural flow. Don't go against the stream.
Yes.
Right. So for example, right now we are in the dark moon. This is a time to heal, restore, take a long bath before you go to bed. This is not a time to plunge ahead this couple of days until we get to the waxing moon. So what I have found in my own life is the more that I embrace the natural cycles and I don't try to fight against them, you don't plant your garden in winter.
Yeah. It's
Right?
hard not to, because you get excited because you want to do the change, but some patience is needed.
Mm-hmm. Audrey says, I love the interpretation of a riverbed. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so I hope that gives you, there's an edginess to drastic, and drastic feels maybe even a little bit harmful to yourself. And when I read temperance, I always want to be mindful of healing energy as well too. The invitation to temperance is for our personal wellness as well too. And I feel the Queen of Cups knows all about wellness. And
definitely connecting to emotions and getting the emotions, ready for the change.
There's a softness, right? So temperance is Sag. Temperance is balancing fire and water. They also see the fire and water symbols in the background of this card as well too.
Sun and the moon. I love that.
Yeah.
That's why when you started talking about balancing, I was like, that's why I pulled temperance.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Darcy says, go shopping. They're fun. Though if you have any tarot by 7. Okay. Donna's okay. I'm just going to go ahead. Trio of Witches. Sharon O'Connor is next. Okay. And it's really beautiful that I love it in these chats when the community is supporting one another, and it's really nice. Yeah. Okay. So yes, Sharon, we will find your question.
Trio of the Witches Tarot. I love that name.
Scrolling down. And I really appreciate all of the insight into the Kali and Durga energy that was in the comments as well too. I work with Durga every day, so I'm fully aware of the power of that connection. Okay. Well, I haven't found Trio Witches. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I have a lot of death around me right now and would like a reading around that. Okay. All right.
That's a question for a deck like this, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's hold light, love, space for Sharon in this challenging time. And thank you all in the chat for supporting her. Oh. Okay, I guess I'll take the 2 jumpers. What do you have?
9 of Cups. Which is a kind of a not a weird card to get, because it's all about finding your happiness and being content, but I think it's more about just a reminder in a way that unfortunately life and what happens to other people are out of your control, and all you can do is find your inner peace. And as you can see, this cup is not perfect. It's not without scars.
Mm-hmm.
And there are outside forces. The snake can be outside forces, or it can represent wisdom as well, that's coming through from, I'm kind of getting the from the earth, from a very much of a grounding energy that's coming up, taking wisdom with it. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from.
It's a sign of transformation.
Yeah.
Snake.
And all you can do is concentrate on finding your, that's stable sense of self. You have to work on that, because everything that's happening outside of you, you have zero control of it.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is just protect yourself and turn your attention inwards, and concentrate on healing as well.
Mm-hmm.
If this makes sense.
Yeah, the yogic term santosha refers to contentment.
Mm-hmm.
Contentment. So we want to know that inner peace, and there's that. I think that snake is key there. We are in this time of death where one of the greatest challenges is of letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And letting go is, man, it's hard. It's hard. It really, really is. So I have two really interesting cards here. While this looks very much like a three of cups, this is the three of pentacles. So I had two jumper cards. And then I also have the strength card. Fly out. And it's interesting because in one card we recognize the power of connection and perhaps healing through connection, or growing, expanding through connection with others. And in the other card, where, I mean, this is a crazy card. She wouldn't be as strong as she is if she wasn't that connected with the bats and other things in the picture. But at the same time, it really shows. And again, here we go with this kind of theme that's going on today, right? It's finding and knowing that sense of self that is absolutely necessary to navigate through difficult times. But I'm intrigued with the Three of Pentacles showing up there. So I want to say that, you're not alone, and it would be important to share your overwhelm with your sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces, whomever. And perhaps part of your strength is part of your journey is in initiating that connection. Show me your card again. So 9 of Cups, right, is an abundance of emotion. It's yeah, so what I'm saying here is you, and we have, I know this is Three of Pentacles, but this is like so Three of Cupsy. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like your path is to get people to open up and talk about this. This is not something that we need to hide away and process privately.
Yes, there's strength in community.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely there
Mm-hmm.
with those two cards.
Yeah.
And also, because I just saw a comment about grief, we sometimes fear that we can't be happy because other people passed on, and all we must feel is sadness. But just like how temperance was, in the previous reading, balance is key to our own mental health as well. And if you experience some, joy, don't think that you're not valuing the sadness, and in a way that, you know, you're not taking it seriously, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, you know, people feel guilty for feeling happiness when they're experiencing a loss, but that's, you know, part of being a human.
Mm. Beautiful, beautiful comments in the chat as well too. And you know, part of where is that one comment? This is the feeling and the so I mentioned Santosh, and then Pallavi says Santosh means satisfaction, I think, and I use the word contentment. The translation of Sanskrit terms is impossible.
Yeah.
And in order to work with these teachings, we need to work with the lessons and the practices to fully understand them. And I think English is definitely an inadequate language to express the teachings that we learn and work with in yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Lots of beautiful comments here. I don't think there's any more questions. But remember the good times. These are all beautiful, supportive.
Yes, because this is not a new cup, you know. This cup has been through a lot, but it's still, you know, it has still beautiful flowers growing out of it. And just like with the strength, and I love that strength because it shows that no matter how many hard times you go through, you can pull yourself together and move forward and have that strength. And it comes with these experiences as well, because you don't learn about your own strength just by experiencing rainbows and butterflies, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Orsi, you good for one more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this will be our final reading for today, and I really want to thank everybody for your contribution and support of one another in the chat. So let's turn to Pallavi now, who would like some spiritual guidance. She has been in very bad mental space, but doesn't know the reason. Okay.
I mean, just what's going on around in the world, it's not surprising, because I think a lot of us are attuned into the collective, and we feel a lot of things. I mean, I'm not an exception for that, but yeah, that's just me, not the cards.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
What do you have?
I have two kind of violent cards.
Oh,
So the jumper was this one, which we were looking at.
I mean, I pulled one card and I was like, I need to check the bottom of the deck.
And then I also pulled my nemesis card, the grenade card.
Oh,
Okay, so
that's so interesting, that king.
it's noisy. Both of these cards are noisy. You know, the potential to be noisy, and I don't know why I'm going this direction. We looked at that, right? The close-up of this card.
Yes, definitely. That's why I'm like, oh, now I can see
How the owl is destroying the cuckoo. And so the powerful living bird is destroying the fake bird.
Yes. And I pulled the King of Wands, by the way. Another king. And if you look at the card at first, you're just, I mean, maybe you're like me, you're like, oh, there's a bird. But then you realize that there's a person here. And what I was thinking that maybe, you know, like the birds in the other one, it's chattery, the noise. You're letting it push you down. So maybe you're listening too much of, again, with the previous readings, it's the common theme, listening too much of the outside world and not turning inwards enough.
Exactly. Exactly. So quiet, making space for yourself,
Yes.
quiet reflection, giving yourself permission to check out for your healing, check out for your peace of mind. And you know, when we think about cards like I'm surprised like 10 of Wands or something didn't show up.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to unpack some of this stuff. You don't have to do everything. We have 2 kings. It's a lot of responsibility, Pallavi. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be in charge of everything. It can be overwhelming. And I see somebody type that into the chat. Well, right, as well, too. Overwhelm. So sometimes we need to kind of put our hat on the hat hook and just go off on our own. And you
And
can
I was
delegate.
also thinking that these are 2 masculine energies, and you know, it can be that you have someone in your life that's affecting you. So this outside influence can be a person in your life that for some reason is pushing you down in a way. So there could be a relationship that needs some reassessment or healing as well. Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, I just realized that there's a mouse here on the King of Pentacles.
Mhm.
And I don't really read Lenormand, but I was thinking about the mice in that system, how it's also, you know, nabbing at you and eating your thoughts away, and also this noisy, gossipy energy.
Mhm. And you know, when I see this card, I wonder why the bird took the pin, you know?
Yeah.
The grenade didn't explode, obviously, but how stupid is that, you know?
Yeah, but the bird doesn't know.
The bird doesn't know.
I always, you know, I just think about it when it comes up in readings that we are doing something that we don't know how detrimental it is for us, because we don't see the consequences, we don't see the bigger picture, because we're getting lost in the details. So we kind of need that step back and quieting and meditation. I usually just say that sit somewhere quietly with your thoughts, which is not going to be quiet because your thoughts are going to be like, but you have to sit with them. Because if you look at this card, it's the pentacles, but it kind of have this, you know, because it has this skull in the middle and everything that's happening is in the upper realm in the brain. It kind of gives that king of swords energy as well.
Mhm. It does. So
So
Pallavi also mentioned she was in a toxic relationship. So it is important that for sure you don't rush into another relationship and that you give yourself time and space to heal. And sometimes that's very hard to do when there's children to look after or older parents to look after, or there's work responsibilities and so forth. So carving out that space for yourself might mean, you know, every Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to go and attend a meditation group. Or maybe on Monday nights, there is a circle of like minded people. Or maybe you go and get a massage or something once a week. You know, it's really important that you prioritize yourself during this kind of healing time. And those are all feminine. Those are going to all help bring in the feminine archetype. We were talking about 2 kings and that's very masculine as well too. So we're seeing an imbalance in the feminine archetype. So inviting in the softness might also be help as well too.
Yes, I mean, obviously, we don't have to go into, whose gender is what, because that's not important. But in this card, this is the king card, but the person lying here represents as a female. So we're getting that feminine energy that needs to be elevated, you know. I mean, just for this reading, because I don't know what the original meaning for this card is actually.
I also feel that in that card, which I didn't pull out, can you hold it up again?
There's a thread also. There's the red thread
Mhm.
coming through, which always, it's fate and it's destiny and stuff like that. But I always think about that whatever is happening, it was meant to. It was meant to happen. So you're going through this. This is growing pains. I'm kind of getting that feeling
Mhm.
that whatever you're experiencing is growing pains, because you're transforming and going with the theme of the night. You're establishing boundaries, you're finding your inner strength and power. So we're definitely getting that.
Okay, so I want to comment on this.
Yeah.
I have to comment on this. I
I mean,
can't.
same.
You, Pallavi, the truth is that you can. And it is so important that you do. It's only 1 hour or 75 minutes of your life. I know you have to get there and you have to come back, and there's all of that in between. But it's like with yoga, we say the hardest part is getting to the mat.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. So what I want to say is, I want to kind of, be the big sister. I want to slap you in the face or kick you in the back end and say, stop it, smarten up. You can take an hour off once a week to go get a massage
Or take a bath or do
or take
some
that. Yeah,
meditation with YouTube. So, we have a lot of ways, but you're going to feel more refreshed and you're going to be able to study more if you're well rested.
right, right.
Hi,
Yeah,
Jonathan.
yeah. And we say that with love, Pallavi.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, we say that with love and
The experience, because I've been through studying with university exams, and when I actually had enough sleep, I performed better. So yeah.
yeah. That's funny. Sadhana is embodying Kali right now. Aloha, Jonathan. Yeah. All right. So we are just winding up our time together. And again, Orsi, thank you so much and for responding to me in Gerald's chat
Thank
the
you
other
for
day.
inviting me.
It was
This
fun.
was so much fun.
Yeah, it
I,
was
re-
great. It was
I
great.
love being here.
Thank you to everybody in the chat for supporting one another and being so vulnerable in the questions that you ask. And yeah, and Donna, thank you for looking after the questions. And I really appreciate you as a mod. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will see some of you in class very shortly. And I will be back. I'm going to do a couple of VRs on Friday, kind of all pack them all together and show you some of the favorite things I love about tarot cards. So what's coming up for you on your channel, Orsi?
I'm getting back into things because I took a break, but I'm thinking about doing a reading for April's Fools. Actually, I came up with a fun idea. I hope fun. So hopefully, see you guys there. And I usually have a live stream as well. And I'm gonna have, if everything works out next week, Micah from, I never know her channel, but it's XO_ Micah, I think, and then underscore OX, or the other way around. But she has a channels, and we're gonna have some conversation about tarot and stuff like that. So
Nice.
hope to see you all there.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, Dee, for posting. Thank you. Okay. All right. Good day, everybody. Blessings. Namaste. Bye-bye.
Bye.